Welcome to the Prosperity Podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to drop the hustle and earn more. I'm your host, Danielle Amos, business and success coach, certified Proctor Gallagher Institute consultant, and lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you amazing entrepreneurs who have built wealth, harnessing the power of their mind. Prosperity and money are truly about energy, and I'm on a mission to help you create financial abundance through the power of thought. It's time we started normalizing conversations about money and create the wealth that is yours. Are you ready? Let's do this. Welcome to episode 144 of the Prosperity Practice, the podcast that has you living your most abundant life. This is Danielle Amos, and I am your host. Today, I want to talk about the paradigm, which is your mental programming, and how one of the ways to change it is through an emotional impact. Now, it's not the recommended way that you reprogram your mind because, as you can imagine, like an emotional impact is usually negative. It's an event that's not planned, that something happens to you, most likely negative. And in that moment, everything changes. The way that you view yourself, the way that you view your world, it changes because of the event, the impact. Now, I have examples in my own life. If you take a moment and think of your own life, you probably have a couple events where something happened, usually negative, and in the moment, everything changed. And what I'm talking about, everything I'm talking about, like your thinking, the way that you perceive the world and yourself. I also have examples for people very close to me, family members who have had a significant event change, and I watch them change. Take a moment to think about this in your experience. Now, Bob Proctor, my mentor, he comments and often would say, an emotional impact is one of the ways that we change the paradigm. And the reason why you want to change the paradigm is because your current paradigm or the current programming that you have is responsible for your current results. And so unless and until we change the program, it's like, your cell phone has a program or your computer has a program. And unless that program gets updated, the apps and all the things you add to it don't really work that well, do they? So a human being needs their programming updated according to the new vision or the next goal or the next period of their life. And it makes sense, right? And so Bob Proctor used to say there's two ways to change the paradigm. One is through elite coaching and spaced repetition of positive ideas. And this is the work. There's a process to it. And this is the work that I take clients through using Bob Proctor's program. I have not created my own program. I've been asked a million times why not. And it's because Bob Proctor's program, Thinking into Results, is actually like, I guarantee it. So if you want a sure thing on a way how to upgrade your mind, it's that program. I haven't recreated it myself, even though many people around me have created something similar. I know his works, and I know there's so much science and information behind that program that I don't fully understand, from the language he uses to the stories, to the music, to his tempo, the pitch of his voice. He was very well trained on helping a client, a person change and reprogram their mind. So I wouldn't even try to change. I use it because I can guarantee the results. Now I'm going off on a tangent here. Let's bring it back to the reason why we're talking about an emotional impact. Well, for a long time, I had a question. If a negative experience can change the paradigm like that, and usually it's negative, couldn't I figure out a way to put a client into a positive experience that would change the paradigm in the same way the negative one does. And so I've spent the last few years really contemplating this idea and testing it out for myself and then with clients. And I've cracked the code. This is part of my human design. I'm a 3-line for those of you that know human design. And part of my human design, well, I'm a 1-3. So the 1 is to gather knowledge. Like I'm a researcher and I've got every book that you can imagine and I research. And then my 3-line is trial and error. So I test it out and I'm meant to find why something doesn't work. And then course correct and tweak until I have it that it works. And it lights me up, to be quite honest with you. Last year, we ran our very first luxury self-image money retreat. And the purpose of the retreat was to create this emotional impact in a positive environment so that the people there would have an experience, and like that, their paradigm would change. And on the other side of the event, they would be a different person. They'd view the world differently, and it would show up in their outside world. Like actually their outside world would have to calibrate to the shift that they experience within. Last year we did this and we succeeded. And this retreat has been designed because based on who has said yes. And this is the work that I do. And, you know, if this resonates with you, I've opened the doors for our retreat in October. It's in Canada in Blue Mountain. And I'll put the link. We are taking advanced registrations and it's first come, first serve for your choice of if you stay with me at the chalet or in one of the other accommodations or find your own. It's a very small group because no one leaves without a paradigm shift. And the feedback we received last year was phenomenal. 100% of the attendees experienced a shift, said that they received more value than what they paid, and their life has not been the same. We've been tracking them since. It's been a year and a month. And their lives, they're thriving and they're busy with excitement, like not busy to be busy, busy because their lives are so exciting. They're enthusiastic. They're attracting opportunities nonstop. Now, you've been programmed. And you were programmed, every human being received a program. And between the ages of 0 and 7, your parents, caregivers, teachers, the people around you programmed you not only by what they said, the actions they took, their reactions, their habitual behavior, their habitual reactions to life gave you a program. And that program isn't good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is. Your parents did the best that they could. Just like if you're a parent, you're doing the best that you can with your child. And here's the thing, that program is responsible for right now, today's result. Most adults are running the program they received as children. That's why you see family patterns, you know. People that grew up in wealthy families are most likely wealthy. People that grew up in welfare, most likely on welfare as adults. It's because we have a programming. So to change the program, yes, there's the method through thinking to results, which I invite you to look at and book a call with our team if you have questions about that, because there's levels for every single person. It doesn't matter where you are. And in fact, we have funding, third-party funding to support you in this journey, because the funders believe in our program so much. They know it works 100% of the time. For 100% of the people, it is guaranteed. Guaranteed. Why? Because the way you were programmed was through repetition. And so we use the same way, the same understanding of the mind to give you a new program. And the amazing thing that we know about the mind is, yes, you have a paradigm and that's what's giving you your right now results, but a human being can change their programming. And how you do that is through two ways, either an emotional impact, which is usually negative. And this is what I've been obsessed about the past couple of years, is like, okay, if a negative event can change someone in an instant, couldn't a positive? And so the retreats are designed. Yes. So much thought, so much detail. Every step of the way has been thought of. And the second way you change that paradigm is through spaced repetition and elite coaching. So spaced repetition of what? Well, it depends on where you are. Not everyone's the same. So if this excites you as much as I do, I invite you to watch along on my Instagram at the Danielle Amos. Watch along my stories, my posts as we are live in Mexico. You'll get some behind the scenes of our retreat in Cancun, Mexico. And if you feel called, put your name down for the retreat in October. Follow your intuition. If you're like, ooh, I want that. 1 week, like 5 days to change your life. You'll think back to the retreat just like the women do. And they're like, that was an emotional impact. My life changed from that moment. Here I am, Danielle, before this event and after this event. That's what you'll be saying about the retreat. So I invite you. And if you're curious and you're not sure what's what and what's for you, well, book a call with our team. I'll put the link. There is something for everyone. You have the power. Your first step is understanding that and doing something about that awareness. Let me show you how. Thank you for being here. If you've got questions, reach out. Instagram's my favorite. And if you enjoyed this information, give us a 5-star review and please help us help others. Share this podcast. I'd be so grateful. Tag me when you do. Thank you again for being here and being in my world. It means so much to me. Expect abundance.